Hey everybody, Patty Ann here. Hang on a sec. Today what I'm going to show you is, or this time what I'm going to show you, I've been on here before today. Someone has asked me and said, Patty Ann, can I bug you again? I'm trying to make some labels for the tops of my chubby spice jars. I'm doing it on sticker paper, so the sticker paper will fit on the tops of the bottles. I'm having a struggle with it. I do the shape of the circle and then the spice name and then attach, and she goes on and on to say what happens and what goes wrong. So I'm going to show her how to do this. So the first thing that I did was I just measured, this obviously isn't a spice jar, this is bigger than that. My friend Rachel comes over here and we drink coffee down here in the basement. And so she brings her own sugar and her own creamer because I don't usually use either. I drink mine black. Anyway, so I'm going to measure this and see how much space I have at the top. I'm going to go with 1 inch and 3/4. So what I'm going to do is what I've already done actually, is to make a circle that was 1 3/4 inches round, and then I put text in it. Now look at this, you guys. You know me, I was being frugal, so I took an old piece of typing paper that I had, a used one, and onto it I taped a partial sheet of sticker paper. I'm always trying to save some money so I can do these little crafts for samples and have supplies. So there's that. So I was able to use a partial sheet and print it out on here. So the next thing that I do is I'm just going to put this on my mat, and I'll go back to Cricut Design Space, and let's see, this is printable vinyl that I'm using. So I'm just going to go stick it in my machine right quick. Okay, my label's done, so you know what I'm going to do next. I'm going to get my alcohol. I'm going to clean the top of this really well. I'm sure over the years that Rachel and I have been putzing around down here that we've gotten a lot of fingerprints on this thing. Okay. And now I'm just going to apply this. I'll take this off of here. And since it's printable vinyl, I don't really, I just peel it off like that and I put it on top. And it looks like I made it a little smaller than what I needed to, but it turned out pretty cute. And actually what I could have done was I could have made this fancier. I could have put like a print behind it, or maybe even a part one that was printed with a little border and then the white inside. But anyway, I'm just going to show how to do stickers like this quickly on Cricut Design Space. So now follow me over there. Okay. So I'm going to finish this, and I think what I'll do is start a new one. New, replace. Okay, let's pretend that you want to make your stickers, let's say 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches. I'm not sure how big your containers are, but you can adjust the size however you need to. So I would come to the Shapes tool, get a circle, and I'm going to make this circle 1.5 by 1.5. So I'm just going to come up here to the size and leave the lock locked, and I'm going to change this to be 1.5 and hit enter. Okay, so now I have one of them done, and I'm going to change it to white. And I'm further going to change the background here to a gray color so you can see the stickers more clearly. So I'm going to change it to a gray color. Okay, so I have one sticker done. Now remember, this is going to be a print and cut, and we know what size of a paper we can print and cut. And so I'm going to make a shape, a square, actually a rectangle, and I'm going to come up here to the lock and change it, or unlock it I should say, and I'm going to make the width of this 6.75 because that's how wide we can print then cut. And the length that we can print then cut is 9.25. Enter. So I'm going to see what I can fit. Oops, that didn't work. 9.25. Enter. Okay. So I'm going to bring that over here, and it's going over top of that sticker. I don't want it to, so I'm going to right click on it, send to back. There we go. And I'm going to change the color of this because I don't like it. I'm going to change it to pale blue. All right, so there we go. And I'm going to minimize this a little bit so I can see the whole thing. All right. So now the first thing I'm going to do is, I'm assuming that you want to make a whole slew of stickers at the same time, and you know all the names that you want to put on them. So I'm just going to duplicate this. I've clicked on it, and I'm going to duplicate it, I think 3 more times, because I think a total of 4 will fit across here evenly and easily. Okay, that looks good. Now if I want to make it neater, I can click the first one, hold down my shift key, hit the second one, click on the third and the fourth. So then all 4 are selected, and you can see that in the layers panel. Then I will come up to align and align bottom. So then they're all just in a nice line. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to group them. And then I'm going to duplicate the groups. Maybe I can do that 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not sure how many are going to fit on here. Okay, that looks like that may be all that will fit. Let's see, can we fit one more row? I don't think so. So I'm going to go click on each row after I hold down my shift key, keep holding my shift key down, grabbing each row, and I'm going to come up here to align, and I'm going to align left. So that just shifts them all over here, and it looks nice and neat. Now if I wanted to and didn't want to waste any space, I could come down here and maybe perhaps put in another little shape, maybe a rectangle or 2. Let's see, what size is that? 3. Maybe I want a rectangle to be 2 inches by 2 inches. Enter. By 1. All right. So then maybe I'll bring this down here, and I think that will fit. I think I can put 3, so let's duplicate that. No, not yet. Let's change it to white. And now let's duplicate it 2 more times. All right, and let's see if they'll fit over here. In case I have another thing I want to put put some text on, I'll have 3 more stickers down here, and I won't waste that stickery paper. All right, so now the next thing that you need to do is come to the text tool. Now for the text tool, you can choose any font you want. The font that I use is the one called Allura, and that's one of the ones I found the other day when I did that font lesson on wordmark.it. And I'll put a link to that up here if you haven't seen that one. But I'm going to use the Allure font, Allura. So I'll come up here to where it says search, A-L-U, oh, I think it's A-L-L-U. There it is, Allura. Okay. And just for the heck of it, let's pretend like I'm going to write garlic, or I am going to write garlic. So I pretend I'm going to have garlic salt or something in one. And now what I need to do is I need to change the letter spacing. So I come up here and change the letter spacing, because I like them to be closer together. They're not going to be cut out, so they don't actually have to be touching and made into one, but they just look nicer when they're together like this. I'm going to get a little bit closer in to see how they're looking. Okay, I think I can click it one more time maybe. Letter spacing. Okay, that looks pretty good. The only thing is, well, maybe even one more time. Let me try. Yeah, I like that. The only thing is this I and the C are over here all by themselves. So I'm going to fix that. I'm going to go to Advanced and ungroup to Letters. I'm going to grab just the I and the C. Just the I and, whoopsie. Well, I can move the I by itself first. Then I can click off and move the C. Okay, that looks great. And now I can group them back together. Now, I'm going to bring them over here and I'm going to put them, whoopsie, come back. I'm going to put them up there on the first little circle at the top. Got to make it smaller so it will fit on here. Okay, that fits good. Now these circles are probably smaller than what you want, but this is just so I could do a demonstration. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is this. Remember I have this whole group of these guys right here. I'm going to ungroup them. They were just all grouped together when I put them there. Uh-oh, what happened to my word garlic? I'm not sure. Let's right click on this. Instead of sending it all the way to the back, I'm just going to move it backwards one step. Perfect. There's my garlic. If I had sent it all the way to the back, you would no longer see the white dot send to the back. It went behind this layer, behind the bluish purple layer. So that wasn't what I wanted. So what I want to do is just send this, move it backward, not to the back. Okay, so now what I can do is I can click on the garlic text, hold down my shift key and click on the circle and then come over here and say flatten. All right, now let's watch and see what happens just to this circle here when we go to make it. Okay, so what's going to happen now, look over here, it says it's going to print. So it's going to print this on this, the printable sheet, on the sticker sheet. And then after everything's done printing, it's going to cut out all the circles. So let me show you again. Let's pretend like we have time. T-H-Y-M, oops, M-E. And I'm using the same font again. And I'm going to have to come up here to letter spacing and change the letter spacing. Okay, that looks pretty good. I think what I need to do now is I'm at the point where I need to highlight it like that, come up here to Advanced, and say Ungroup to Letters. So I'm going to take the H and move it over to touch the Y, and I'm going to take the T over, probably not to touch, it doesn't need to, like that. Okay, so now I'm going to highlight it all or select it all and group it. And then I'm going to smush it down so it'll fit on the circle. Then I'll bring it over to the second circle here. Okay, now since these circles are ungrouped, I can just grab one. If I came down here, these, notice they have a bounding box or a box around them. That means they're still grouped together. I would have to ungroup those first. These are still grouped together. The first row, however, I ungrouped, and now I can select the text, hold down the shift key, select the circle, and say flatten. Okay, for one last thing I'm going to show you, it's going to be a way that you can make this have a background to it. So in other words, if I click on this circle here, right now it's a cut file and it says no fill. If I change this no fill to print, I can come over here now to where this little white box is. That's the color it's going to print, but I'm going to change the print type not to color, but to a pattern. And I'm going to choose a pattern that I had shown you all the other day. It was this one that I showed how to upload it in one of my videos. And remember, you can edit the pattern here by making the little things smaller or larger, but I'm not going to work on that right now. So the next thing I would do is come over here to the shapes area and get a shape, this time a circle. And I would adjust the size of the circle to fit inside that shape. And I'd want it to have enough of a border so that I could see it and I liked it. And that could be fine. So what I would do now is click on the dark shape and click on the outer shape and come up here to where it says align and align center. And then I would change the color of the dark one. So I clicked off and then clicked back on so I could just get the dark one, and I'm going to change it to white. And then I could put any spice that I want in here. Maybe I want to do parsley. So I could come over here to the text tool and type in parsley. So I'm going to do letter spacing again. Down, 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 down. And I would keep adjusting this until I was happy with it. So this doesn't take me forever. Let's just make it smaller and bring it over here so it fits. And now what I would do is I would click on the text, highlight it, hold down the shift key, click on the circle, the inner one, still holding down the shift key, click on the outer circle, and then come over here to where it says flatten. And the same thing would be done with this one. I could come over here to where it says no fill, change it to a print. I come to this box. I don't want the print type to be a color, although I could change it to a different color if I wanted to. And it would print out that color. But instead I'm going to come over here and I'm going to change it to a pattern. And I'll just change it to this one. Can't even tell what it is. I wish those were larger so you could see what they were. Oh, it's hearts. That's fine. And so now I'm going to click outside of it. Again, like I said, I'll bring in another shape, a circle. I'll make it smaller so it will fit within that one. And I'll click off of this, and then I'll click on this one and this one. So I have both circles selected. And then I will go to Align, Center. Okay, and then I'm going to change this to white. So I click on it, come up here and change it to white. And maybe I'll use sage as my spice, S-A-G-E. And again, I would come up here and do the letters, or the letter spacing until I was happy with it. And if it was taking too long, of course, I could just come up here and say Advanced, Ungroup to Letters, and then just move them individually like this. And align them bottom if I want to, which make the G out of shape, but the rest of the letters will be aligned correctly. Okay, then I can just bring the G where it should be. Okay, then highlight it all again. I can group it. I can make it smaller to fit. And then I click on the text, hold down my shift key, the inner circle and the outer circle, and then I will say flatten. Okay, let's see how these four are going to look. Let's go to make it. So 4 of them are going to turn out perfectly. They're going to be sent to my printer first. Remember, if we go to continue, I can select my machine if I want to. They're going to be sent to my printer first, and they're going to look like this. And it's going to print out the word garlic, the word thyme, the word parsley along with the design around it, and the word sage and along with the design around it. After that's done, then it's going to come to the cut area and it's going to cut those 4 out. So first it's going to print these on the printer, And then when I put it into my Cricut, my machine's with that little light, the sensor light, it's going to go all the way around here, checking to see where these black lines are, because that's how it knows where to cut. After it goes all around and sees where to cut, it's going to come in here and cut a circle, and another one. It's going to cut out these 4 circles on the sticker paper, and they'll be ready to adhere to the little chubby jars that you have. So thanks a lot for joining me, you guys. If you like my videos, please give me a thumbs up and share them, and subscribe and click the little bell. The other thing is, if you're in the market for buying some things, if you use my affiliate links that I have down below, I get a little teeny tiny commission, but that does help me to buy a few more products so I can keep having stuff that I can use to show you more samples. So again, thanks you guys. Love you. See you again soon. Bye-bye.